Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
The Barley Room, a proud sponsor of ProView Networks for over 9 years, is pleased to introduce Black Iron Catering. From weddings and family reunions to birthdays and office parties, Black Iron Catering is perfect for any event. Contact Jamie at 505-459-8259 and book your event today. Black Iron Catering. Let us bring our kitchen to you.
This is Coach Borrego of the Charlotte Hornets. Hello to all you parents out there in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I want to congratulate 38 years for the AYBL. You guys are doing a great job. You've shaped a lot of lives, young men and women, and you'll continue to do that. Parents, get involved, sign your kid up. It's a great program. It helped shape who I am today, helped shape me as a basketball player, as a coach. So get out there, sign them up. Have a great season. Good luck to everybody.
Is this my car?
State Farm knows that for every one of those moments,
This is ridiculous!
there's one of these.
Is this my car? What? This is ridiculous.
This can't be happening!
This can't be happening.
Oh, it's happening, sweetheart.
Oh, it's happening, sweetheart.
Shut up.
Shut up!
That's why State Farm is there, with car insurance for when things go wrong, but also here with car loans to help life go right. State Farm.
Talk to State Farm agent Marty Size or Michelle Rudolph in Albuquerque today.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a #1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
At Gala Chevrolet, our master technicians service every make and model no matter where you purchase your vehicle. But that's not all. We also provide certified service on every GM model. So if your car's been acting a little funny lately or something just doesn't seem right, don't wait. Bring it into the most modern service facility in the entire state and let us make sure that you're driving a vehicle you and your family can depend on. Service done right the first time, every time, right here at the all-new Gala Chevrolet.
Everybody, welcome to Red Menace TV here on ProView Networks. Leroy Lucero along with Michael Carlisle. How you doing, Mike?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. How was your trip to Las Vegas last week?
It was Vegas. So,
It was Vegas?
So it didn't stink.
Yeah, is there ever a time when Vegas is terrible? Have you had that experience?
Well, I came back with a lot less money than I left with.
Well, but I mean, you have to expect that, right?
Yeah.
Does anybody really expect to win, unless you're like John Jones? Does anyone expect to come back a winner from Las Vegas?
I think everybody expects it. But,
Do they?
But realistically, no. No, I had a lot of fun losing, though.
Is it the, are you blackjack, dice, roulette?
Blackjack.
Okay, all right. Single deck, double deck?
When I can find single deck.
Single deck,
yeah,
okay.
For sure.
So, of course, you know, I used to be a blackjack dealer a couple years back. Blackjack, craps, roulette.
It's a shame I didn't come see you more. We could have worked out a nice little system, and
it
would have benefited everybody.
I would have been gone a lot sooner then, huh?
Well, that would have stunk for you.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know. Usually the player that's involved gets a little action too, but you never know. It's not like the old days, like in the 50s and 60s, where they take you out back and leave you in the alley, right?
Right. If the Pac-Man Jones situation has taught us anything, it's that, you know, cheating at the casino was just a misdemeanor, so it would have been okay.
Hey, speaking of money and stuff like that, I guess the new regions have been voted in or been established by the new governor, and once again, immediately they're called to reinstate the 4 sports that were cut. We talked about this, and there's been a little bit of news that's kind of swung in all directions since we weren't here last week. I think and is it big news? I don't know. They did a sports by sports monetary analysis, and they say that Lobo football does indeed bring in money instead of.
But yet they're not presenting that to the Board of Regents.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, isn't it?
My guess would be it's a situation where you can take money and move it around. I'm not saying that UNM did anything nefarious, but you can make the books look however you want them to make the books look.
Do you think that's done just to because obviously when they cut the sports, there's the Twittersphere, the regents. Well, I don't know what else to call it. Not the regents, the legislators that came and had a few minutes, and there was a lot of whining and crying and gnashing of teeth about football losing money. So I'm not saying it's nefarious, but it's showing it. Do you think it shows that football? Do you think football legitimately makes money? I guess is what I'm asking.
Yeah, probably.
Not football itself, but the fact that you're tied in with the bowl games, with the NCAA, D1, and all that.
You factor in conference money and things like that. Yeah, I don't doubt that. Are they swimming in cash? Obviously not.
No.
But yeah, like I said, I don't think they did anything nefarious per se to
come up with that
to be misrepresentative. But yeah, I mean, it makes some. Does it make as much as a lot of other schools? No. No, I don't mean that in a bad way. You're
right. A couple of things that will help or not help. Obviously, we heard early last year that the Las Vegas Bowl was cutting ties with the Mountain West Conference. It looks like that's been replaced, or at least I saw a report. There's going to be a new bowl game. Basically, it's going to take the same teams, the Pac-12 teams and the top Mountain West Conference team there at the Hollywood Park, the new football stadium that's being built. So I guess that's going to be the new Las Vegas Bowl. I guess it's the North Hollywood Bowl or something like that. You haven't seen that yet? Okay, well, as I understand it, that's going to replace. So there's still 6 bowls that the Mountain West Conference is affiliated with. Obviously, every football team or every team that's affiliated football-wise with the Mountain West Conference, which is all of them, get a share of all 6. So this is going to be decent money. Obviously, in the new stadium, that's a good thing. Kind of stinks that you got to go to it stinks in one way or not the other. Obviously, in Los Angeles, you're going to have that Pac-12 advantage. Are you?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, could you play UCLA and have a good shot there, you think?
I don't know that you got to worry about playing UCLA.
You don't think so? Well, the Las Vegas Bowl, the Lobos played UCLA.
That was 10 years ago.
It's been longer than that, I think.
that further
And then, of course, obviously UNM plays 2 of the body bag games this year.
The money games, yeah. And look, that helps, and quite frankly, they need to.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it's going to be. I mean, they're not winning anyway, so might as well make some money.
No, and look, to be fair, you should play those 2 games. And with the other 2 non-conference games, the Aggies and whatever, UTEP, North Texas, whomever else you schedule, and then the Mountain West schedule, if you can't get 6 wins out of that and get bowl eligible.
Don't you have to get 7, though? Because you have that extra game? Because they're playing Hawaii. That's why they did the second body bag game.
No, that's not why they did. They're playing Hawaii here.
Okay.
They did the second game because they're playing in week 0.
Week 0.
Which is before week 1. Seriously.
No, I mean, I've heard it. It cracks me up the way they said it's week 0. So it's basically a preseason game?
No, it's just the game before week 1. Week 0. What's so hard to understand about this?
I mean, so is this like this new weird math? You know, I mean, I don't know how many. Do you have any involvement with children under the age of 12? No. Okay, so you see, and they have like weird math. Like it used to be like you would just go 2 times 2 is 4, and you memorize that, right? You remember memorizing your multiplication. Now it's like you got to draw this little box, and you got to put these squiggle marks and do all this. That's new math. Literally called new math. So is week 0 new scheduling? Is that what it is? We can't just move it to week 1?
Well, no, because you've already got a game in week 1.
Well, can't you just rename it week 1? No, because then we wouldn't have anything to talk about, right?
And to be fair, this isn't exactly a new thing. This has been for a few years now.
I know, but it just sounds silly because it's the first time I can remember the Lobos playing in week 0.
It happens.
It's happening this year. Awesome.
Case in point.
Case in point. Very good. I like that, Michael. All right, so we have that. Obviously, tonight you're donning the Lobo gear, which, by the way, that is a nice jacket. I think the last time you wore it, I complimented you on it as well. Tonight's senior night.
Yes. I'm just creeped out that you're complimenting me on my wardrobe.
Well, I just think it looks good. That's a good-looking jacket.
From here up, I'm wearing shorts, so nobody can see that, but I kind of look goofy, to be quite honest.
Well, no, it's fine because that's your style. If that's your style, that's your style. No, just the shorts.
Did you say my style was goofy?
No, I didn't say that. I noticed there was a picture on Twitter of Sebastian Noel, our former co-host, and he was wearing flip-flops and sweats, I think, with a tie in the suit.
Everybody leaves this show to go on to bigger and better things, but yet I'm still here.
What do you mean? You have the top-rated sports show in the state.
Well, true. But I mean, I don't know that, he's calling games. He's got his own show here on ProView. I'm still stuck here with you. I don't know if I don't have motivation, if maybe you're
I don't know.
Down. I don't know what the deal is.
I am the star maker.
Well,
like you said, everyone that's come here has moved on to bigger and better things. And I'm still stuck here. I haven't moved on to bigger, maybe because I won't wear the tie.
That's the price to pay to be the star maker, I guess.
I guess so. Star maker means you stay broken, but that's okay. I don't mind. I love being here with the people. I love having you guys and everyone else that's been in and out through the revolving door that we've had here. But I definitely enjoy having you here. But what are your thoughts on senior night tonight? Lobo basketball. Also, Dane Kuiper and Anthony Mathis.
Yeah, their last games in the pit as Lobos. Of course, you got the road game Saturday and then the Mountain West tournament. Look, you got the win on Saturday. You're still trying to scrape together some momentum headed into the tournament. I think both these games are winnable games left here in the regular season for the Lobos. UNM's 2-point favorites tonight. Doesn't mean they're going to win. I mean, they could just easily lose those games. But from a getting ready for the tournament standpoint, you want to get these wins and get some momentum going for the tournament. Specifically for senior night, it's going to be a bittersweet night. Look, and Paul Weir talked about this last night at Lobo Talk. Dane Kuiper's career probably hasn't gone quite the way he would have hoped. He's battled a lot of injuries, but he's been here. He stayed here all 4 years. Weir said he was the one player when he got hired, and he reached out to everybody. He was the one player that said, "I'm in, coach. No worries." Everybody else was, "I'm transferring," or, "Well, I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking about that." And then, Anthony Mathis is going to go down as one of the best shooters in Lobo history. And this is a guy who didn't get off the bench hardly his first 2 years here. And really through the first third of year 3, which would have been Paul Weir's first year. But he has made a nice career for himself as a Lobo as well.
Yeah, it looks like, in fact, I read on Enchantment Sports that it looks like he's going to snap Kevin Henry's record of three-pointers here at UNM.
He's what,
possibly, possibly tonight, because, I mean, you know how he shoots.
Sure.
It could happen tonight, final home game in the pit. If not, I mean, you have to assume it's barring injury or something crazy, it's going to happen sometime either tonight or in a couple of days when they go Wyoming, right?
Yeah.
So, of course, they're playing Boise State tonight. If they win out, I believe that they end up playing Boise State in the first round anyway.
Depends. There's a really good chance they're going to be in the 8-9 game one way or the other. That's not where you really want to be, because if you win that game, then you're going to get the top seed, probably Nevada. But
no,
even if it's Utah State, right? Even if it's Utah State, that's not a lot better. Colorado State lost last night. If they lose again, and off the top of my head, I don't remember who they play on Saturday, but if they lose again, and it's very possible, and the Lobos went out, the Lobos could conceivably get that 7 spot and then be in the 7-10 game, which I think would be a better place for them.
Yeah.
Because then hopefully you're avoiding Nevada in the second round.
But wait, they beat Nevada. They didn't beat Utah State.
Yeah, they also got their doors blown off by Nevada.
And they got their doors blown out by Utah State twice.
No!
I mean,
right, they should have.
Yeah, that's right. That was the backcourt.
Yeah, that was backcourt gate.
I forgot about that. You're right. You're absolutely right. I forgot about backcourt gate. That was a very important game. I mean, what can you say about this Lobo basketball team that hasn't been said already? I mean, disappointing year, obviously.
Fair, yeah.
Expectations definitely not met. Though, were the expectations through the roof to start the season, you think?
To be completely fair, the expectations were probably a tad high. But look, you were coming off a season last year where nobody had much expectations, and you wound up in the conference championship game. So it's understandable why expectations were as high as they were. But yeah, they were probably a little high. And, you know, look, we've talked about this ad nauseum on the radio show. The Lobos, the one consistent thing about UNM this year, inconsistency.
Yeah.
And when you don't play consistent, you don't win a lot of ball games. And unfortunately, that's kind of been the mantra of this team this year.
No, it has been rough, and you know, there's been a couple of times where you thought, okay, this team's ready to start making their move, and then you mentioned the inconsistency, and then they go from making their move to just 10 steps backwards and just getting their doors blown off. I think the fact that they've even made it through the year with that, Ezzedine's the only player that's really left, or even you hear any kind of like nastiness. I mean, I think the fact that they've been able to keep that together is definitely a testament to this team and the coaching staff. I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm not hearing the same things you're hearing, but I haven't heard any players really screaming or making a big stink or anything else. Fans, yes, but fans will always do that. But I haven't heard any like infighting stuff. Have you heard that?
No, not at all. The fans seem very supportive of each other and the coaching staff.
You'd mean the players?
The players, I mean.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. The players.
Yeah, fans, I think, are a whole different story. Especially, it's so weird because, you know, I like playing on Twitter, and I also, you know, listen to your show when I'm not in class. And when they win, it's very quiet. When they lose, it's not so quiet.
Well, part of the reason it's quiet when they win, and I don't think this is the way it's going to sound, there haven't been a lot of those, and there's certainly, as far as momentum building, you know, like you said, you win one, you lose two or three. You haven't had a lot of back-to-back wins where you're gaining momentum, you're getting the fans excited. When you have gotten wins, everybody's waiting for the other shoe to drop. Yeah, but they got to play again. They don't win back-to-back very much, and so, you know, the fans are always pessimistic, understandably so, based on the way the season has gone. But yeah, when you can't get momentum going, it's hard for anybody to get excited.
All right, well, let's take a quick break. We'll come back with Micah Frankel and CageMinds.com segment of today's show, and then we'll be back after that. Sound good?
Works for me.
All right, let's take a quick break. Alden.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at ProView Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
Dreamstyle Remodeling has been wowing homeowners in New Mexico since 1989. Selected as Best Custom Home Remodeler for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Albuquerque Journal, we're also your exclusive provider for top home improvement brands like Renewal by Anderson, Four Seasons, Blaze King, and many others. Founded and headquartered in Albuquerque, Dreamstyle Remodeling is family-owned and now employs more than 500 people across the southwestern U.S. In fact, we've helped more than 60,000 homeowners improve their home in New Mexico, Arizona, California, Idaho, and West Texas. We're committed to providing a superior customer experience. We've earned 4.6 stars with hundreds of online reviews and have an A+ with the BBB. Dreamstyle Remodeling is a proud supporter of UNM Athletics. Visit our beautiful 10,000 square foot showroom at 1460 Renaissance Boulevard across from Sam's Club, or DreamStyleRemodeling.com to make your home remodeling dreams come true.
Get into the game with Garden Swartz Team Sales. They have everything you need, from screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing services, high school letterman jackets, and all high school and club uniforms, and individual and team apparel with the most reliable brands like Speedline, Rollins, and Wilson. And don't forget to check out the latest F7 Shut helmet. It's all at Garden Swartz Team Sales. Give them a call, 505-884-1234. Garden Swartz Team Sales.
Crafters, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened?
Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Long three by Bates, yes! Antonio throws it away. Alejandro Yelko spins. Fine. Jelante Gray, here comes Mon. Send it in, Jalen.
Leave Terry wide open. Look at this from Mohammed all the way on a spin.
The drive back at the other end, beautifully done. That's the age-old question. Here's Manzano. He's being worked on by Nakai Smith. Manzano going all the way to the basket.
Smith says, give me that. Here's Munn, and he'll throw it.
Three to play. Deathridge looks up. He's been clutch all year. Is he going to get one off? He does, and he cans it. Nothing but ice through the veins of Jake Deathridge.
Gets it back. Mohammed alley-oop to Munn. You're not going to score really with .6 here unless Damina Lovato knocks us down. And I'll, and he got it! And I guess it was worth it. A great call. Unbelievable by Damina Lovato.
Welcome to the place where we talk about people getting punched in the face. This is Cage Minds. I'm Micah Frankel. It was a busy weekend of combat sports. We got a little highlight slideshow for you guys. So Alden, if we can, let's start off today with the highlights. I mean, we had a lot of great stuff. We're going to be talking about MMA, boxing, titles changing, titles being defended. We do have a guest coming up this week. There's going to be kickboxing action. We're going to go around the globe. So a lot of big things to talk about this week, including a stacked month of April here in the local scene where you're going to see 4 consecutive events. This weekend, you did have UFC 235 out in Las Vegas, and Michael Carlisle was there live covering it. John Jones was dominant. Some people, though, still not happy with dominance. Kamaru Usman shocks a lot of us. I mean, I thought that Woodley would at least be 1 round better and take the decision. It was 1 rate traffic and a dominant performance from the Nigerian. As far as us locals here, the nightmare reigns supreme with Diego Sanchez just pummeling Mickey Gall. Gall resorting to biting. That was just unsportsmanlike. A big performance from the Nightmare. I mean, turning back the clock, putting on that kind of pace and effort, and it was just completely surprising that Mickey Gall went in so headstrong, looking for the knockout, winging big blows. So that was all stuff that happened in the MMA world. In the boxing world, you had action on UFC Fight Pass, where Luis Alberto Lopez became the new WBO International Featherweight Champion with a technical decision win over Ray Jimenez. The fight was scheduled for 10 rounds, only lasted to the 8th due to a headbutt in the 6th that busted Jimenez open. We went to the judges' scorecards, and lopsidedly, they all saw it in favor of Lopez with the title changing hands. You had tons of action on UFC Fight Pass on Saturday. I think we can get to those highlights now as we were talking about it. So let's see it real quick. Here we go. Jimenez versus Lopez. Jimenez there on the our screen right. It's Lopez on the left. As I said, that title would change hands. It was due to a cut. That was on UFC Fight Pass, where Roy Jones Jr. is launching a phenomenal second career now out of the ring and promoting. We had Cage Warriors Saturday morning on Fight Pass. James Webb submits Thomas Robertsons with an arm triangle choke to become the new Cage Warriors middleweight champion of the world, bringing a belt back to the SBG gym. You had a triple header on DAZN, a trio of title fights. Unbeaten Jordan Gale defeats Emmanuel Dominguez by TKO, winning the WBA International Featherweight title. You had Richard Roprieve, who, just kept landing power shots all night, scores a 4th round stoppage of Tommy McCarty, becoming the new WBA Intercontinental Cruiserweight Champion. And then Lee Wood gets a 2nd round knockout of Abraham Osibosi to become the new Commonwealth Featherweight Champion. On Showtime, WBA World Super Welterweight title was on the line. Brian Castillo, Yerslandy Lara, a nail biter, a back and forth fight that was so even, a split draw on the judges' scorecards. Can't wait for the rematch. And as we said, UFC 235, we're going to get to some pictures. Diego Sanchez, there he is celebrating. Like I said, took Mickey Gall to the ground and put Gall through the grinder, through a beating like the young man had never seen. A pressure and a top game that just suffocated and showed the young man withering. Again, becoming so desperate that Diego would point out on social media, he would bite him. Zabit Magomedsharipov, the hype train continues for the former ACB featherweight champion. 2 phenomenal rounds of action against Jeremy Stevens before the brawler would put it all on the line, trying to search for the knockout in the 3rd round. Magomedov continues to win, and is another reason why I wish Max Holloway would remain in the featherweight division. Pedro Munoz scores what many consider a big upset, many but not all, getting into a wild brawl with Cody Garbrandt. Maybe there was a headbutt landed, but both guys were coming inside hard. It was both their fault, both winging, both on technical brawl, but a big knockout victory for Munoz, who is definitely now a top 5 bantamweight in the UFC. Here we go with the wildness. Robbie Lawler gets into a grappling exchange with Ben Askren, slams him, beats him up, maybe finished him. The fight continued though. Lawler gets trapped in a bulldog choke. His jaw was trapped. It was not a blood choke. Herb Dean would jump in for the stoppage after some awkward hand positioning and arm movements by Lawler. Lawler, after the submission was let go, was obviously still conscious, but Herb Dean made a monumental mistake. As I said, the welterweight title has changed hands. Kamaru Usman puts on a 5-round beating of Tyrone Woodley that really not many could have expected. You knew that it was high-paced wrestler, power strikers going against each other, and Woodley had no answer for anything that Usman was offering up, backing up, and getting taken down most of the night. Africa has their first UFC champion. Kamaru Usman, hopefully not getting in any more buffet line fights, though, as what happened with Colby Covington. And there it is, John Jones, hands raised. It was the dissection, a dismantling of Anthony Smith. You got to love the way that Jones works the legs, goes to the body. The big left hand obviously shocked Smith. I believe it was in the 3rd round. The fight would go all the way to the decision. There would be one nail-biting moment as Smith was playing the hand on the ground game. John Jones mistimed a knee, landed an illegal shot that had everybody gasping. Anthony Smith, instead of becoming the new champion and taking the DQ victory, said he could continue, knew that he was playing the hand game versus the knee, am I a downed opponent or not? It's very commendable and respectable what Smith did continuing in the fight, but it was one-way traffic throughout the 5 rounds, a big victory for John Jones. That was our highlight slideshow. There's tons of action also coming up this week. So if we can get to that slideshow, there's a lot of action starting out this week tonight here on UFC. Well, this is actually our local. There we go. So starting out tonight, UFC Fight Pass, you have Island Fights 53 taking place. You're going to see David Valentini versus Tough and Bellator vet Carrington Banks, not to mention unbeaten Marcel Stratton versus Chase Gamble. On the Zone Friday night, Danielle Scardini faces Henry Calafeni for the IBF International Super Middleweight Championship in Italy. Saturday morning, one championship, Reign of Valor from Yigon Minar. A third of the card is kickboxing, the rest MMA. Sebastian Kadem is defending the welterweight title against Gregory Kinshinin. You have Glory for the first time in 2019 from France. Glory 64, 7-fight prelim card, a 6-fight super fight series card headlined by Alim Nabiev taking on former champion Myrtle Gronhart. You go up to the 4-fight double main event main card that is Glory 64 with the women's bantamweight, super bantamweight title on the line. Anis Meskin defending against Tiffany Van Soos, headlined by Harut Gregorian defending the welterweight championship against France's former champion Cedric Doumbé. Cage Warriors 103, they're back on Fight Pass. Also, double title fight. You have Soren back defending the featherweight title against Morgan Charir, and Nicholas Dalby, UFC vet, defending the welterweight title versus Alex Lahore. UFC is back on ESPN Plus, ESPN Plus 4. You have Derek Lewis versus Junior Dos Santos, 2 heavy hitters in the heavyweight main event. I'm talking about vicious knockout artists. Co-main event, Ezekiel Zaleski Dos Santos, a 6-fight win streak versus Curtis Melender's 9-fight win streak. Big welterweight action. Tim Means, our guest from last week, is also on that card. It's his fight against Nico Price. Boxing action on Fox, a big one for the WBC welterweight championship. It's Sean Porter's title, and he's defending against the Cuban upstart Yordenis Ugas, who Josh Pitbull Torres was out training with last week. You also have action on the Zone, a double title fight with Brival versus Smith, WBA light heavyweight title online, and Maurice Hooker, Mikael Laprise for the WBO junior welterweight title. And then Saturday night to Sunday morning, if you want to watch some Muay Thai action from Bangkok, Absolute Muay Thai is on UFC Fight Pass. And I believe we do have one more slideshow. It is our local slideshow telling you about what's coming up here. You can see it on ProView Networks. Josh Pitbull Torres headlines Expo Explosion 3 from Legacy Boxing Promotions taking on Francisco Javier Castro. Coming up the following weekend, Holmes Boxing will be at the Embassy Suites. Duke City Lions, an 8-round main event. Fidel Maldonado Jr., the Atrisco Kid, taking on Johnny Rodriguez, a heavy hitter. April 13th, it's an all-amateur event. NG Enterprises LLC presents Nowhere to Run amateur kickboxing at United Fit. It's been a while since we've had an amateur kickboxing event. And then the following weekend, Lion Fights is at Route 66 Casino. It's a big event broadcasted live on CBS Sports. 3 title fights. The article is up at cageminds.com with all the details for all those upcoming events. So like I said, this weekend, a ton of action. Locally, we've got a huge end of March and all of April. Get out and see some fights. And now today we also have a guest joining us here. Impressive amateur, unbeaten, training out of the Jackson Wink Academy. Alex Fire Cardenas, thanks for being here, sir.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you having me. It means a lot.
We saw you in action recently at the Jackson's MMA series, but before we get to that, actually, you're not a native New Mexican Albuquerquean. You made the journey to Jackson Winks. Where are you from?
I'm originally from, I was born in Florida, but then I ended up moving as a teenager to Atlanta, and I was there until maybe 2 years ago, and then I started venturing out, and then I've been in Albuquerque for about a year.
When did you find martial arts? When did you get involved?
Well, I was a pretty wild kid, so after my dad died when I was 17, I started martial arts. I started karate. And at the time, my master kind of took me under his wing. I started assist teaching kids and stuff like that. So I was, from there is when I really started building a passion for it. Then I decided I wanted to try to fight. So I broke off and trained under Freddie Asunciao, who is Rafael Asunciao and Junior Asunciao's brother, at Ascension MMA. I trained with him for about 2 years. Got my green belt in jiu-jitsu, got my first fight in 2012, 56-second triangle in the first round. Really good guys, but I decided that I needed a bigger place to grow, so I went to American Top Team Gwinnett and trained there. Douglas Lima and Amir Dadovic, and Diego Lima, those are some of the owners of the gym, but it was a good place to train. I ended up assist teaching jiu-jitsu there for almost 3 years under my coach Majid Al-Kush, and then from there I went to California for a little bit, trained in the gi a lot, got my purple belt, and then here I am. I'm in Albuquerque, one of the best gyms in the world.
How did you end up at Jackson Wink? What was that process?
So when I was younger, I always knew I would end up out here. I just wasn't sure. I wasn't sure exactly how, but I really decided to trust the process and really focus on my training and getting my basics down and everything. After I left California, I decided it was either go back to Georgia and do the same thing or just take the risk and just move out here. And so I moved out here with what little belongings I had, just mainly clothes and stuff like that, my training gear, of course, and I lived in the dorms at Jackson Wink for almost 10 months. Started getting really good, you know, started really getting, seeing where I could go with it, and my confidence started building and everything, so it was really exciting to experience.
Take a step back actually, when did you realize that MMA was going to be, you know, the path that you wanted to pursue?
Well, when I was in karate and I was doing a lot of karate tournaments, and I transferred over to learning MMA, like jiu-jitsu and the wrestling aspect of it and everything, I realized that, man, I get this stuff, you know, like I'm pretty good at it. Like I learn really quick. So, and when I was younger, I used to get in a lot of fights, get a lot of trouble and stuff like that. So I've always had that spirit, that fire, you know. So I never back down to a good challenge. So, you know, I decided after a couple years of training and realizing that this is what I actually want to do, like I just kept going and kept going and I kept myself in the grinder, so to speak, throughout some of my 20s, and then it led me here, and I'm meeting great people, and I'm just getting better every day. Like I'm 30 years old right now, but I haven't even reached my prime yet. Like I have so much more to learn and so much more to prove, you know. At least to myself. So,
when did you take that first MMA fight?
2012. It was in December. It was at Wild Bill's fight night in Atlanta, Georgia. I was super nervous. You know, I didn't know what to expect. You know, even though I've been in a lot of like street fights and stuff, in jiu-jitsu tournaments and stuff like that, it wasn't the same. But I got in there, and once I got in there, all those nerves just go away, you know. And as John Jones would say, you got to make those butterflies fly in formation, you know, and they did, and I was able to get my first finish, and then from there I was hooked. Just the feeling of the crowd and the feeling of winning, you know, like it made me train harder. It made me really stay focused. So.
And now, like we said last time I saw you, Jackson's MMA series, another finish. Tell us about that fight.
So I didn't really know what to expect from Quentin. I knew one of my friends, Randy, fought him. Randy's a little wild, so I kind of got, and he was able to finish him. So I was kind of expecting to go in there and be more technical, but it's a fight, so you never know. You know, there's always that random chance there. So, but once I was in the venue and once I was warming up and everything like that, I just knew I was ready. And then I got in there, and I really wanted to display my striking more because I'm more of a striker. I'm pretty well-rounded, I'd like to say, but I really like to strike. So I was really looking for that, but he came out really aggressive with some leg kicks, so I decided that, you know, my wrestling would be there. I kind of knew that through camp. So I was really happy to be able to put him on the cage and just get the body lock and take him down. And then I got the mount. And from there, he gave me his back, and I just finished TKO with punches. He wasn't really defending, so I kind of put it on him a little bit.
A successful night at work, and now I see that you're going to have a quick turnaround. I believe it's the 22nd of this month.
It's March 23rd.
March 23rd. Be back in action in Arizona at the Rough MMA event. A member of the New Mexico Predators for this one, competing in an elite amateur fight league format. So, did the coach tell you, hey, do you want to be part of the team? How did you get into being part of the team to compete for the event?
So my pad holder is Joey Villasenor. He's my main coach that runs my corner. And ever since I moved here, I kind of knew he would be the one that would take me where I want to go, where I know I can go. So he's very direct, and I deal with criticism very well. So I worked with him. I've been working with him for over a year. You know, I've been here for a year and 2 months. So I've been working with him for every Monday since then. And I kept hearing this thing about this amateur tournament thing. You know, like I knew that the New Mexico Predators won it before. So I was like really stoked about it. You know, I'm not trying to rush my to pro real fast. So I kind of take my fights easily. And so I was just like always showing urgency, and also through my work ethic and through being around the coaches and working with the coaches, they started to respect my game, and they started to understand like what type of athlete I am. So me and Joey just connected on a different level, you know, the past year, and I just kept asking him, yo man, when's that amateur tournament? You know, like I want to do it because it would just be a great experience before I end up turning pro. I plan on turning pro by my birthday, around September, maybe a little after, but it's all up to Joey, so I leave it in his hands.
What does this martial arts journey, being an MMA fighter, this journey that you're on, mean to you?
So it means a lot to me. It means so much just because I'm able to push myself, you know, and not only do I get pushed by like other people and my coaches and everything, but I really got to dig deep, you know, in some training sessions to really get through, you know. And through that adversity, it's really taught me a lot of things about life. It's kept me on a level playing field and like an even keel. So without martial arts, I don't think, I probably would have done something stupid and ended up in prison or, you know, something like that, you know. So I value martial arts very much. That's why I enjoy teaching. I teach kids. I also teach adults, but I really love teaching kids because they're the future, you know. So if I can have a positive impact on the next future through martial arts and helping them build self-confidence and discipline and self-control and everything like that, then that's just going to help me feel like I fulfilled my life, you know. So martial arts is it's huge in my life. It's an everyday thing. It's not just in the gym. It's at home, you know. It's how I wake up in the morning. It's how I end my day, yeah, I enjoy it a lot. So,
right now, what are the goals for you? The short-term goals, some long-term goals.
So my short-term goal is to finish March 23rd. If I can get another first-round finish, become 4-0, that would be awesome, you know. And then I'm looking forward to winning this amateur tournament, so I'm really staying focused. If they're back-to-back camps, you know, like that's okay, because it just makes the process go faster. But by the end of the year, I want to be pro. I want to knock out my first entry-level pro fight, and then knock out a couple more entry pro level fights. And then once I get those finishes and those wins, I want to move on to like a bigger organization, whether it's PFL, Bellator, UFC, you know, depending on like my highlight reel and stuff like that. Like, and I'll be able to negotiate, you know. So. Yeah, I'm looking for a major contract. I'm looking to like really build myself up and get to a platform to where I can do this all the time until I want to retire, you know. So.
Martial arts, it's been a changing point in the life for Alex Cardenas. It's great to see opportunities like that. It's great to see what this sport is doing in the positive side and some of the knuckleheads and some of that more embarrassing stuff that gets overblown in the media. Who else besides Joey, what have been some of the bigger influences, just even throughout this journey, because you've mentioned Atlanta, California, New Mexico, who else have been some of these biggest influences for you?
There's been a lot. So when I was younger, I was a really big fan of John Jones when he was coming up. Super humble kid, and for me, for a 45er, I'm really big and lanky as well, so we have similar styles. He was a big inspiration to me. I always love watching Holly fight. She's super exciting to fight or to watch fight. So she was another big one, as well as Karate Hottie, Michelle Watterson. She like I grew up watching, you know, all these great athletes and great people on TV when I was younger, and I was just inspired like so much, like to get there. You know, I didn't know how I was going to get there, but I knew I was going to get there. You know, as long as I trust the process and stay focused. And also some of my homies from back in Atlanta, Douglas Lima. He's a beast. You know, we all know what he did to Rory. You know, so. His work ethic is insane, so like that really inspired me a lot as well. And also being surrounded by Freddie and Raphael and those guys work really hard too. So I've always been fortunate to be surrounded by good, hardworking people, and so like I kind of just like look at my past and just kind of be thankful for those people because they still inspire me till today, you know.
Awesome. Alex, again, thanks for being here today. Thanks for coming on the show. You guys, sit right there. More Red Menace TV in just a moment.
Car Crafters, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened?
Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
The Barley Room, a proud sponsor of ProView Networks for over 9 years, is pleased to introduce Black Iron Catering. From weddings and family reunions to birthdays and office parties, Black Iron Catering is perfect for any event. Contact Jamie at 505-459-8259 and book your event today. Black Iron Catering. Let us bring our kitchen to you.
This is Coach Borrego of the Charlotte Hornets. Hello to all you parents out there in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I want to congratulate 38 years for the AYBL. You guys are doing a great job. You've shaped a lot of lives, young men and women, and you'll continue to do that. Parents, get involved, sign your kid up. It's a great program. It helped shape who I am today, helped shape me as a basketball player, as a coach, So get out there, sign them up. Have a great season. Good luck to everybody.
Is this my car?
State Farm knows that for every one of those moments,
This is ridiculous!
there's one of these.
Is this my car? What? This is ridiculous.
This can't be happening!
This can't be happening.
Oh, it's happening, sweetheart.
Oh, it's happening, sweetheart.
Shut up.
Shut up!
That's why State Farm is there, with car insurance for when things go wrong, but also here with car loans to help life go right. State Farm.
Talk to State Farm agent Marty Size or Michelle Rudolph in Albuquerque today.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
At Gala Chevrolet, our master technicians service every make and model no matter where you purchase your vehicle. But that's not all. We also provide certified service on every GM model. So if your car's been acting a little funny lately or something just doesn't seem right, don't wait. Bring it in to the most modern service facility in the entire state and let us make sure that you're driving a vehicle you and your family can depend on. Service done right the first time, every time, right here at the all-new Gala Chevrolet.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at ProView Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
Dream Style Remodeling has been wowing homeowners in New Mexico since 1989. Selected as Best Custom Home Remodeler for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Albuquerque Journal, we're also your exclusive provider for top home improvement brands like Renewal by Anderson, Four Seasons, Blaze King, and many others. Founded and headquartered in Albuquerque, Dream Style Remodeling is family-owned and now employs more than 500 people across the southwestern U.S. In fact, we've helped more than 60,000 homeowners improve their home in New Mexico, Arizona, California, Idaho, and West Texas. We're committed to providing a superior customer experience. We've earned 4.6 stars with hundreds of online reviews and have an A+ with the BBB. Dream Style Remodeling is a proud supporter of UNM Athletics. Visit our beautiful 10,000 square foot showroom at 1460 Renaissance Boulevard across from Sam's Club or dreamstyleremodeling.com to make your home remodeling dreams come true.
Welcome back to Red Menace TV. Hey, Michael.
Hey, Leroy.
Are you going to the clown convention?
No.
Okay, I was just wondering.
Speaking of clowns, whatever happened to Rusty?
I don't know. He's kind of hung up his floppy shoes, I guess. He's gotten busy, I guess. I don't know. Maybe he's at the clown convention. Maybe you should go.
A lot of birthday parties and stuff on mitzvahs.
Maybe he lost his oomph and. Yeah. Oh yeah. You guys did have a little beef there for a little bit, right?
We obviously know who won that beef. I'm still here. Where's he at?
I mean, I noticed one day you did have a shovel in the back of the truck. I'm not saying anything. I'm just.
Yeah. Don't say anything.
Okay. All right. Maybe he's at the clown convention. Maybe you should do some.
There's actually
some investigative reporting.
So there's actually a clown convention in town, right?
There really is a clown convention coming.
That is absolutely crazy.
Good stuff. Yeah. If you're a clown. I mean, what do you do?
It's not like a trick, like how when the cops will call people up, hey, you want a free toaster? Come by here and pick it up. And then they arrest them because they got outstanding warrants.
That's a good idea.
Is this a trick to lure in, well, we all know the stories about clowns, right? Oh, murderers too.
I guess.
Wasn't John Wayne Gacy a clown?
He was. Clowns are, so do you have like the creepy side of the convention and the non-creepy side of the convention?
Side of the non-it?
Yeah. The Gacy it side and then like the fun family friend side?
You're asking the wrong person. Dude.
I mean, and what do you teach at these conventions? How to properly apply your fang makeup?
How to you sure?
Look good when you do
I should have been there before. That's not hard.
Or how to make everything that looks like a sword.
Balloon
animals. Yeah. I mean, is that what goes on at these conventions?
I don't know.
I've never been to. Have you ever been to a media convention?
Yes.
Oh, what do you teach there? Like how to properly hold the mic, what to say?
No, they're like seminars and stuff. It's really probably boring like the clown convention.
Or is it mostly just hurry up and finish talking so we can go hit the town and see what's up?
Maybe.
If those are in like Las Vegas. I mean, I don't know what
I don't know. I hate to see the clowns hitting the town. After
they all pile into their little car.
Feel bad for that Uber driver. He's got like 14 clowns in there.
Hey, it's a clown full of cars. I mean, a car full of cars.
Yes, it's a clown full of cars.
Same thing. Yeah, it's a clown convention. Anyway, I don't know how do you properly segue out of the clown convention?
I'm not sure why we brought it up in the first place.
I mean, you went to a seminar that taught you how to do this stuff. Is there any kind of proper segue out of this?
I don't recall a seminar on segueing out of clown convention organization.
Well, so here's the only segue that I could come up with, because it's coming to town too, but it has nothing to do with clowns. United Soccer starts this weekend, Saturday, I believe, there at Isodukes Park, or is it Isodukes Stadium?
It's Isotopes Park.
Isodukes Park, okay. So the United comes. I actually think of all the semi-pro, pro leagues that are out there, I think this one has a really good shot of making it.
They've certainly done a really good job marketing that they've gotten out. They've hit in the streets. They've gotten their name out there. So yeah, look, I'm not a huge soccer guy, but I wish them nothing but success. Look, Isotopes Park is a fantastic facility for baseball. I'm sure it will be for soccer as well. So they've got a good location. You don't have to drive 50 minutes outside of town to get there. Yeah, and I'm sure they will put on a good product.
I just looking at the, because I've seen them all, right? I mean, for so many years, and they all start off kind of hot. You know, they all look, you have the new logo, everything's cool, everything looks good, and then things quickly fall apart.
Well, you eventually move to Rio Rancho, and nobody goes out there.
Where sports teams go to die.
Right.
Anyway, I think the Scorpions were probably the most successful to this point.
Yeah,
the Gladiators are getting pretty close. They're starting to, though they started out before as kind of the Stars or something like that, and then they're party. I don't know, it's been weird. But, of course, and they did the opposite. They left the place where sports teams go to die and came to Albuquerque. But I do believe that the United looks like they're starting off hot. They look good. I like their kits, which are kind of uniforms. They look really good. They got the Meow Wolf tie-in. Those look kind of cool with the bright colors and everything else. And Isodukes Park is a nice facility. I don't know if it's necessarily a soccer facility. I know there was some talk about possibly opening up, or once again the talk kind of creeped in. I don't know how real it is, about a new arena in Albuquerque. I mean, do you see that as something realistic, or is that just
not for soccer? But yeah, I do see a new downtown arena.
You think that's realistic?
Yeah.
I don't think it is. I think because we've been talking about it for so many decades, and Albuquerque is you talk about the place where teams go to die. I think the place where ideas and money goes to die is Albuquerque, or it seems like it's been that way forever.
It's the place where concerts skip right over. So, you know, you have a 14, 16,000 seat arena. You get a lot more shows. It's not just about sports. I really don't know what you would do sports-wise there. You know, there was talk several years ago about maybe a WNBA team. I don't know how successful that would be here. But the city does need an arena, preferably a downtown arena, for sure.
I mean, how big of an arena are we talking? Are we talking kind of like where they, because I noticed that the Ice Wolves are moving in, or at least they're saying that they're starting off at the Outpost in next year, I think, is when they start. Of course, the Gladiators are still floating around. I'm sure if there was a decent enough stadium, they would love to move from Tingley.
I don't know. They do a really good job with Tingley there for the Gladiators. It's a neat setup. They've obviously been successful. They won a title last year.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm just saying it's still Tingley.
Sure. Of course, now, there's also been rumblings that the state would like to build a new facility there at Expo New Mexico. So.
Yeah, and then there is that as well. And yeah, I noticed that the legislature did appropriate some money for the circus. I don't know if you saw that.
That's why they brought the clown convention.
The clown convention, I guess, is part of that
you
circus.
Staff the circus, right?
So that way we can help out the circus. Real quick, because I know we're running out of time. or is that what the letters are?
Yeah.
The Alliance of Football or whatever.
Alliance of American Football.
There was a rumor or something that New Mexico was on the top, well, alphabetically, on top of the list for an expansion.
They were on the top of the list because Albuquerque starts with an A.
Honestly, you can be honest.
I don't think the AAF will be around next year.
Okay.
I don't think they get the chance to expand, to be quite honest.
So you're thinking they'll decompress before they expand or go bye-bye?
Exactly.
NFL, I mean, there's still no talk about them kind of doing a feeder system with them?
No.
Nah, we're almost out of time. I wish we could get more.
That's why they have college football.
Yeah.
That's their minor league system. That's their
right,
feeder
college
system.
football, which is making money in New Mexico right now is the way I understand it. So they say. Hey, next week, of course, we're going to take the week off. Don't forget to tune in here on ProView Networks to find out all about the New Mexico State high school basketball games and where you can watch them all. For Michael Carlisle, for Alden, and Micah, this is Leroy. We'll see you next week. God bless you all.
Car Crafters, proud support.